Looking back on when I was younger, I didn't try as hard as I could. I want to make sure I don't have any regrets going forward. I try to give 100% because I don't know what the outcome may be, but I don't want to say I didn't try.
Are you currently having an existential crisis?
Yeah, I'm just like talking to you like.
This is why we have these conversations.
Yeah. But if I go run 5 miles on the beach, no one knows.
Yeah, what's the point in doing it then?
No, none really. So, no, I'm just kidding. If I were to fail, how would I feel after that? Like, I don't know if I would be the same person. If I knew I gave it 110% and I just came up short, that would eat at me a lot.
Yeah, because that's a very piece of shit.
Yeah. Failing is a part of it. I'm going to have regrets because I'm never going to give 110% if I don't allow myself to potentially fail. So I have to walk back some of these things I'm saying in the moment, but that's what it is.
That's what we're here for.
Yeah.
This is why it's a conversation.
Yeah.
Welcome to the No Former Athlete podcast.
Awesome. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Are you an athlete?
Oh, that's a funny question. I guess yes, but I never think of myself as an athlete anymore. But
Why?
Yeah, I think because I just always put athlete with professional athlete, right? So now I consider it more of a hobby because it's my choice to do it or not do it. Technically, yes, but I never define myself as an athlete anymore.
Interesting. So you feel like you have to be playing professionally to be able to use the title of athlete?
Or maybe some sort of obligation to be playing the sport, right? So like if I choose to never run again, I could do that tomorrow. And I guess technically everyone has the choice to not play the sport, but when you're in college or in high school, you kind of have an obligation to play because you're a part of the team. In professionalism, you have to, the obligation. But yeah, now I could not do any sports and do something else. So yeah, I think that's kind of
Do you think the athlete would leave you if you weren't running consistently right now? No. Is the athlete gone?
No, because I would still compete to some extent. Like I still compare whatever I'm doing to other people, and I think that's where my like athlete mindset will kick in.
Do you wish you compared yourself to other people? Wish you didn't compare yourself to other people? Or it's just like that's just the thing that happens?
Yeah, I'm okay with it because I don't let it consume me too. Okay. So I think I found a better balance of like I'm aware of it, but it doesn't dictate how I proceed with the rest of my life.
Yeah. You said your balance is better now. Yeah. Was it not good at one point?
Yeah, because I think I have a younger brother too. So like we both played basketball and baseball together. Yeah, it would just cause like, not like physical fights, but like arguments, fights. I just hated losing. I couldn't, and I still hate it. Like even my siblings right now, like when we play card games, they're like, yeah, Dom's being quiet now because he's upset. So
that's your tell.
Yeah, like we can tell he's not laughing anymore. So I'm okay with the level of competitiveness, and I think even now when I can see that I'm starting to feel emotions behind losing or anything, I could still go about the rest of my day. It's not like
it doesn't like
upsetting.
Consume.
Yeah, it would consume me before, and I would be like, "When's the next time I can compete to make up for it?"
Yeah, you're like, okay, now we need to start another game immediately because I need a chance to reverse the L I just got.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's a really interesting topic though. Beyond being a kid, beyond playing an organized sport anymore. Like we have losses, we take L's as adults, right?
Yeah.
But that ability to have something right after it that then you can correct the feeling of the L is so real.
And that might be why like runners sign up for so many races. Like,
literally.
Because and I think that's why I'm okay with whatever outcome I have on a race, because I know this same race will happen next year, and there's hundreds of races throughout the year. So I don't dwell too much on it like I used to.
Yeah, when you're that passionate about it and you don't want to lose and you're competitive and you just want to win and you have that loss and then, you're pissed the whole bus ride home and all the things. But then you're like, okay, next game. And when you're an adult, you don't always have the next game. I know,
so I didn't know if you were going to go to that, but I think, that's the tough part. And like just even thinking about when sports ends, like your career, you don't have that next thing to do. So yeah, you kind of have to figure it out almost, like what, if it's not the sport itself, it's something else in your life. So it's now I'm going to focus on raising my family. Like it's not a competitive sport necessarily, but it's like the next thing that you can excel in, and excelling in that capacity. An example is just whatever you define it as. But
Yeah.
yeah, we just find something else to replace the sport or whatever
Yeah.
activity it was.
Yeah, to kind of like put your energy into, more or less.
Yeah.
We hopped right into it, but give me a little bit of young Dom's sports history.
Yeah.
What sports did you mainly play growing up? Kind of what was that time of your life like?
Yeah, so I grew up actually playing baseball primarily. So my brother's 2 years younger than me. So we both played baseball in Chicago. I think it was maybe at 5 or 6 years old we started to play basketball, but we were still not really that good. We were just, playing around in different leagues. But as we got closer to high school, we started to play like AAU basketball, and basketball became the primary sport for us. So baseball up until maybe 8th grade, then basketball took over. But basketball, baseball were my two. I'm talking about my competitiveness before, but I don't think I showed it in front of other people as much because I was very like hesitant and timid in some of my sports playing days, like especially basketball.
Really?
I was just thinking about this recently because I was talking to my brother about something. I think I didn't have the confidence because I started to see other people and they were so good.
Gotcha.
So they're at a different level, and I don't even think me being competitive, I won't even be there yet. So I don't know.
Yeah. It's almost like you didn't put as much weight into that because you could see and feel that there was, starting to be a skill difference, or you were like, okay, if I care so much about that in the same way that you care about something that you probably felt really good at the time,
Yeah, baseball, that might have been the one I was more competitive because I had played that the entirety of my life. But then basketball, I started later, and I just wasn't at the level yet. But
okay, so through high school, though, you played both.
I played baseball up until my junior year, but basketball was the main one.
You played basketball all the way through high school.
Yeah.
And then what did you play moving beyond?
So I played at Grinnell College. I played basketball there.
Yeah.
Grinnell is an interesting place for basketball, too. They have a system where we shoot a lot of threes. It's just fast-paced.
Yes, okay.
So it's like a little bit different, but it's Division III as well. So that was pretty much the last of my basketball career after that. Yeah.
Fair. I know around the time that I was looking at school, I think Aurora's women's program also played that system. Oh, okay. It's basically like it's almost like the hockey line shifts, right? Does it actually have a name?
Well, I think he wrote a book and it was just called The System, actually.
Okay. Yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about.
But it was weird. Yeah, we would sub out I think it was 35 seconds.
Yeah.
We had 3 shifts, so it was just,
It's wild.
Yeah.
It's wild.
It felt different than traditional basketball. So I didn't enjoy it. And I think it grew on me because after a while, I was like, well, I'm here. I want to win. So we were just like, all right, let's just buy into this system and play our roles. If you're not the star player shooting threes, like you don't really score a lot. So
did you play basketball all the way through college?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
You have a lot of feelings about this.
No. Well,
I can see it on your face.
No. I guess I'm thinking about what to share about it. It's such an interesting time because, like, to me, I kind of wish I would have played somewhere with a traditional basketball system and like learn better basketball skills. I never thought about playing overseas, but I think that still could have been done, like other Division IIIs.
Yeah.
I think I could have done more with basketball, and I kind of limited myself by going there. I did have a great experience. Like the guys that were on my team, like those are still some of my closest friends.
Love
like
it.
One of them is getting married this year, and we're going to like do the bachelor party and then the wedding eventually. So I still have very close relationships from the school and having experience in basketball. But the basketball part, I just wish I would have done differently.
Yeah.
Well, I almost transferred too.
Did you?
So me and Chris were working out over the summer at a junior college.
Yeah.
And so that junior college, they offered me a scholarship to go there. But I didn't think I had the work ethic to like really excel there and then try to go D1 from there.
Why do you feel like that work ethic didn't come until later in life?
Like when I was younger, I just didn't think, I think I had just lacked the confidence that things would work out. I might have had the work ethic, I just didn't see the outcome for me specifically in basketball. But I also didn't know all the other options, right? Like, so NBA isn't the only option. I didn't know about going overseas and all the different countries you could play in.
Right.
So I didn't even think about what opportunities would be there had I worked hard enough.
That there's not just one path to get kind of to that next place.
Yeah.
How does that make you feel about it today?
Today, I think I want to make sure I don't have any regrets going forward, essentially. So I try to give 100% because I don't know what the outcome may be, but I don't want to say I didn't try. Looking back on when I was younger, I now regret it because I didn't try as hard as I could. Now, if something doesn't work out, I don't want to say I didn't try at least.
Yeah, you know, you at least put your, full capabilities out
Exactly.
there. And if
Yeah.
it didn't work, then it's like, okay, then I'll move on and deal from there.
Yeah.
But you don't want to have the regrets that you do feel a little bit.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Now hearing and knowing how competitive you are, even just like in the card games and things like that, like, do you remember those first years, graduated, senior year of college, you no longer are on a team?
Yeah.
Do you remember what that felt like?
I would say, it was scary because I never thought about what job I would take after college. I was gonna just do whatever. I didn't know what I was gonna do, honestly. I majored in economics, but there's no like clear like this is what you're training for. So yeah, it was a little scary. I started to see all my friends start to get job offers, and I didn't really know what I was gonna do just yet. So after transitioning to no more sports, no more college, I think I was just trying to find a routine that felt like sports, right? So like I would go to work, of course, but then I was going to the gym regularly, and that was kind of like the replacement. It was just like finding a routine more so than like, I wasn't trying to find something to compete in necessarily. It was just like finding a routine, because I always had a routine of going to practice, going to lunch at this hour, going to dinner at this hour. And I think that's what I was finding or trying to find. The other part of it was trying to find meaning with that routine. So some of the things that I realize now, like I didn't enjoy about working and that original routine, was that it wasn't meaningful for me. Like I was working at a job that didn't matter to me as much. I mean, that's the struggle I think a lot of people have after sports, because you could get a job, but it's like, how do you feel about it? I struggle with that a lot, I think, until recently. I mean, like in the last few years, because once I left that first job, I stayed there for like 5 years.
Okay.
So
yeah,
but
you were grinding it out.
Yeah.
You weren't enjoying it, but you were grinding it out.
But then when I left that one, I was like, okay, I'm going to pursue something that I like want to pursue and that I find meaning in. There was something that was kind of holding me back. I think realistically, sports was always like something, the most important thing for me. And so even though I don't work in sports necessarily now, sports and running is like the main like part of my life. So my full-time job, I'm still kind of navigating like how I do that. But at the same time, I think sports was always something I was navigating to. I just didn't realize.
Yeah. When you were no longer playing anymore, did you feel like, okay, now it's time for me to get my job? Like, I need to leave that part behind, and like, I need to focus on this, versus looking for a job in sports to continue that way?
I went to school in Iowa, and then I lived in Nebraska. So, like, I mean, there's probably some small sports teams out there, but like, I guess I didn't even see where that would be. And I guess I didn't think about going back to Chicago to be working sports. So I did kind of think I need to leave it behind, because it just didn't seem like a real thing. You
were like, I'm not going to the NBA.
Yeah. So. I never thought about working in the background of sports. It was like, if I'm not the athlete, I don't even know what I would do.
If I'm not the athlete, it's not worth it.
So I was like, why would I want to work at the stadium like that? Yeah, it wouldn't fulfill me. I don't like watching people play. I want to be in the game.
That is a very valid point. Personally, so it's me, I have 2 younger brothers. I grew up in a house where Sports Center was on as soon as you turn the TV on, right? We watched tons of sports. We also played tons of sports, but we loved all the different pieces. That's not always the case.
Yeah.
Because my wife, in the same way, played 5 sports in high school, never watched sports. Her family, my in-laws, there's never a game on unless I'm the one that turned it on.
Yeah.
That is such an interesting thing that I think people automatically think athletes as adults now are the ones that are, having their Sunday football parties and all the things, where it's like, that's not always the thing.
I could probably count on 2 hands how many sporting events I watch in a year. And realistically, it's only because someone invites me. I'm never watching anything sports related on my own. It's like someone has to invite me, or it has to be the big game, like Super Bowl. Yeah. Something with the finals.
Yeah. But Alex said the same thing too, where she's like, well, why would I want to watch it? I want to be the one playing it.
Yeah. Growing up, we used to have like DVDs of like the top athletes. Like it would be like Allen Iverson, Tracy McGrady. Yeah. So I would watch those kind of like highlight reels and like them working on stuff.
Yeah.
But I would watch that a lot. Like I wouldn't watch the actual game.
Was it under the guise of like, here's technical things to learn so that you could get better?
Kind of, almost like an and one mixtape sort of style thing. It was just like, yeah. So.
Interesting. I'm glad you said that though, because I do think that's a thing that other people will maybe relate to. I don't personally, because I also love watching. You know what I mean? And so I also feel I can place myself in the athletes that are playing. So maybe I also watch sports weird because I sit there and I'm watching the like facial expressions and just like the body language and the interactions like of the athlete because that like reinvigorates the athlete in me. I can understand. I don't relate to it, but I can understand the whole where it's like, why do I want to watch them doing it? Like I would rather just be out there playing.
When I was younger, I still didn't watch the games, but I would look up to the athletes, right?
Totally.
Now as an adult, since everyone's younger than me except for the veterans, I'm not looking up to any of these athletes in that way.
Well, and at that point, you were watching it because that's what you wanted to work towards, where now you're like, I'm not trying to be in the NBA.
Exactly, yeah.
That's interesting.
So, it's maybe unrelated, but maybe really, I don't know. I always laugh at, like, we're watching a sport. Like, this is a game that, like, children could actually play. Like, obviously, they're not as good as a professional, but so to me, that's the other thing. I don't put that much value on it because they're good and they have talent and they're skillful. I'm not trying to take anything away from any athlete.
Yeah.
But they're just doing something that a child could do.
If you're years out from your last game and something still feels off, you're not alone. Most retired athletes don't even realize that they're carrying the weight of an identity loss they never processed. We designed a breathwork experience specifically for retired athletes that helps you release what's been sitting in your body since you stopped competing. The emotions you were taught to push down, the doubt, the disconnect. This breathwork is completely virtual and takes less than an hour. I've done breathwork with this facilitator over 100 times, and I promise you, every single session hits different. I used to think breathwork was woo-woo, and now it's a non-negotiable part of my routine. Lifetime access, one purchase. Grab the discount in the description.
Yeah, they're good and they have talent and they're skillful. I'm not trying to take anything away from any athlete.
Yeah.
But they're just doing something that a child could do. To me, I'm like, I can't let that take up all my time because I got real life I got to deal with. This is a game. Like, this doesn't do anything except add entertainment to my life.
Yeah. It's literally a performance.
Yeah.
It's entertainment. Also, in society, so much is put on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm like kind of seeing through that. I'm not going to become so engrossed and so consumed by one team or one player or whatever. Because like that's still a human. They're playing.
Being a diehard fan of a team is still baffling to me. So I can't.
You're like, I'm actually just going to go out for a run, instead of doing that.
Yeah.
Hyper competitive, but also learning how to let those things go.
I think I'm realistic with my competitiveness. I'm not going to be competitive with someone that I can't potentially beat. I think my high school, our class was probably the first class to have someone go play college basketball, right? So
Gotcha.
we were playing against all D1 players because we were good enough to get us to like the higher level division for CPS or Chicago Public Schools.
Yeah.
We were playing against a lot of D1 players. And so I'm like, well, I'm seeing this and I'm competitive, but I'm like, they're just at another level. And I'm good at our school because our school isn't good. Like, this is the next level. So I'm competitive, but I was like, there is no point of me even trying that hard unless I'm going to, you know, go work out for real. But
yeah. I still, though, love that your logical, realistic brain did still, though, put that athlete identity. So it's like that athlete identity was still number one for you until all of a sudden there's not something for the athlete identity to be applied to.
Yeah.
So what happens?
But I guess I never really thought about what adulthood would be or look like either. So to me, it was like I'm just in the moment.
You were in the moment.
And now college is over. I have to figure it out. But like I never really planned that far ahead. It was just like whatever happens, happens.
That's fair.
Yeah.
It's looking good on you. I mean, you're making it work. Talk a little bit about who the athlete in Dom is now. What does the athlete part of you do now? How has that identity changed for you?
I used to still play basketball like post-college, like for fun and rec leagues. I haven't played in a while, but that was how I was still an athlete post-college. Mm-hmm. Now I mostly run marathons and other longer distance races.
Yeah.
And that kind of happened randomly too. I was just going through the motions or going through with the flow. Yeah. I just said I wanted to run a half marathon and then want to run a marathon. And
the classic no former athlete moment.
Yeah, and it just snowballed into now running like 15, 16 marathons and
casual.
Yeah, just
Just like casually running a few teens marathons a year.
Going back to like the comparison thing, now that I run so much and I'm in that community, there's people who run. I know someone who's run over 100 marathons. Now I'm like, oh, this 15 doesn't seem like a lot because I know people who run a lot more. I know people who run a lot faster. Unless I was like the most or the best at something, I just look at it like, well, it's just normal.
You're not gonna try to like be the most competitive about it because you're going to be realistic about it. But you're also going to do it and you're still going to compare and you're still going to track all your things.
Yeah, I still do all that. Like, so I just ran a marathon 2 weeks ago and it was my fastest time, but it's not like the best. Thank you. But I knew because I had ran so many and people see me run all the time, they assume I'm a lot faster than what I was, like what my times were. So I was like, I got to run faster to beat some people because they always bring up how their times were. I'm like, I know I could be faster. I just don't care enough like you care. And so let me try a little bit more. So I still want to get faster than what my last one was. Partly is for myself, partly is to tell other people that. But I don't want to say too much. I don't know how I'm going to be edited.
I don't know who's going to listen to this.
I don't know. Yeah, but I think I'm on the internet too much. I look at some of the people post and I'll be like, I could do this. Thing is, too, I think anyone can do anything, by the way. So, like, if someone's, like, bragging about anything they did, sports related, I guess I look at it as, like, you could accomplish anything if you're willing to do the work and put the time in. So, like, I think that's also why I don't care so much about accomplishments as much. Like, when I say about the time, like, that's great for me. Like, I feel great about it, but at the same time, anyone could do that if they're willing to,
if
work
it was
toward
important enough and if it was a priority for them.
Yeah, so I think that's why at first I was not doing it because it just wasn't that important to me. And when the other people were placing that importance for themselves on it, I kind of want to do it to show, like, you're not better than anyone and no one's better than you. Like, that was important to you at that time. And if someone else decides that they could do the same thing, like, we can all do these things. Like, it's just a matter of what you think is the most important. That's kind of like a side tangent, I guess, because I just
that's not a side tangent because that is the athlete brain. That is what we are trained to do as athletes when we're young. Your record is supposed to be better than the other team's record. Or if it's an individual sport, like you are trying to have a better time, a faster time, a whatever than your competitor.
Yeah.
You live your life realistically and you're like, I don't need to be in competition with you. I'm doing this just to have joy and do these things, but I enjoy it a lot. But also, if you're going to like dangle this competition in front of me, oops, I might still be an athlete. And it seeps back in a little bit.
When I first started running, it was just simply enjoyment. I didn't know about what was a good time for a marathon. Like I just want to go out there and finish it, and that's that. And then when I was running started running, it was like, oh, you want to run under 4 hours? Like that's not really fast to some people. Like so I was just like, whatever, I'll just try. But it was over 4 hours the first few times. So I was like, dang, I guess I gotta keep doing it to get under that. And then I did it with 2020, and then they're like, well, now you got to get the Boston qualified. And that was a big leap though, and I was like, I don't really want to be honest, but now that's my current goal. At the time I was just like, this doesn't really matter. Like until I'm not becoming an Olympian, no matter what time you tell me I need to get, there's so many people that's so much better. That's why I think I go back and forth about what's important with the sport I'm in, right? Like I want to get a time this week, but realistically, I'm just here for the joy and like just doing it. I'm never gonna become an Olympian by doing this. So what's my goal? But the goal is always to be the best. But if I don't think I can reach it, then I'd start to pull back and care less, I guess.
Are you currently having an existential crisis?
Yeah. I'm just like talking. You're like,
this is why we have these conversations. Literally everything that you have said makes sense in my brain. And my brain also is sitting here being like, no former athlete, no former athlete, no former athlete. Because why do any of us do anything?
Yeah.
Truly. Like if we're going to get existential about it for a second, like nothing matters.
Yeah.
Also nothing matters, which means that kind of everything matters because it matters to you because you're putting some sort of priority or some point of mattering on it. But you're still an athlete, and like there's that little like pilot light that's turned down on the fireplace, and then when you give it a little gas, all of a sudden, you know, I like watching your brain filter through this because too, like you said, some people would go and they just want to complete a marathon. Okay, I ran my first marathon. Oh, I wasn't quite as fast as what the, you know, generalized average times are saying. Oops. Here's the athlete pilot light where you're like, okay, well, I could probably do a little bit better.
Yeah.
There is a little bit of that joy of working to improve something. And so then you sign up for another one so that you could do it again, right? You were correcting the L.
Yeah.
You were reclaiming giving yourself a chance to get a W instead of an L.
Yeah. But I think the funny thing now, as you were talking, it made me think, I don't know that this is just me, but I feel like one of the other reasons why I wasn't placing that much importance on it is because if I were to fail, how would I feel after that? Like, I don't know if I would be the same person. If I knew I gave it 110% and I just came up short, that would eat at me a lot too. So I think that might be what I'm kind of like guarding myself from a little bit. Like, so I jokingly said this. I was like, if I don't get this time in this last marathon, I'm not running anymore. I like posted that as a joke. But what I meant was that I'm not going to train for any races anymore because if I can't get it and I did this training, I'm just not there, I guess. And I'm not going to put that much importance in on myself, like for myself. So kind of why I'm like saying it doesn't matter because I'm trying to not feel that pain of not achieving something, maybe. Damn, that sucks.
Yeah, because that's scary. He's like, shit.
Yeah. But that just sucks.
That's
like,
scary.
Yeah. You can't I don't think anyone should navigate their life that way because, I mean, if I say at the beginning, I don't want to have any regrets, failing is a part of it. I'm going to have regrets because I'm never going to give 110% if I don't allow myself to potentially fail. So I have to walk back some of these things I'm saying in a moment, but that's what it is.
That's what we're here for.
Yeah.
This is why it's a conversation.
Yeah.
An undefeated season is an impressive, sometimes unheard of season. If somebody says, oh yeah, we won and we were undefeated, what does that trigger in your brain?
My first thought was that, oh, you just played against people that weren't as good as you. But I don't know. That was my first thought. But
fair.
And you probably don't know what to improve on, though, or like I don't even know if I would want an undefeated season. But yeah, those are my first two thoughts. Like
I will say, having had an undefeated season, it feels really good.
Yeah,
you would want it. You would want it.
I think. Well, sorry. No, let me give context too, because when I said that the guys got 138 points.
Oh yeah.
My team, we did that against a school that shouldn't have been playing against us. So I just had the concept of like you can orchestrate a record of some sorts if that's what your goal is. Yeah, if you're playing a normal season, undefeated is impressive. So that's what the context I was thinking of it.
I get you. No, I like that. And that's an important context though to have because you're exactly right. You can kind of fabricate anything that you need to fabricate and then you're like, yeah. And the best you're like, okay, well, like who are you playing against? My point in saying the undefeated season thing, if you never have a loss, that's not common in sports. You know, there are not that many teams that win on an undefeated season regardless of level and who they're playing and all that. You're also training all season. You're going to practice as a team. Your goal is to try to be undefeated. Yeah. You're not trying to lose any games, but you know it's going to happen.
Yeah, that's true.
Again, I'll put air quotes around that, you know. But like it is highly likely that a loss is going to come.
Yeah.
And like we were talking earlier, it's always nice to have another game or another thing that can course correct that last L. You know, you don't want a losing streak.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if you wait and you put that value on everything of like, well, if I'm not going to do it this time, then deuces, you know, that's also a tough way to live.
Yeah. When I said it, it was like I was thinking that I was still run races. It was just that like, training is tough, especially like, I think that goes back to like when you asked me if I feel like I'm an athlete, it's because I have the choice to not train. Like people run marathons without training, and also I don't even have to run marathons. I could just choose to go do something that's fun. So yeah, I think maybe I need to choose something else if training doesn't work out, because I'm an adult and I can go play pickleball if I want.
That you can. That you can. Yeah, why does that feel like a step down in your brain?
Pickleball?
Not necessarily that it's just pickleball, but
as athletes, we're taught to compartmentalize everything. Push it down. stay focused, win. But that doesn't always serve us as adults. So we designed a breathwork experience specifically for retired athletes. It isn't talk therapy, it's a somatic release that helps you process a decade of suppressed emotions in one powerful session. It's completely virtual and takes less than an hour. Grab your discount code in the description.
Why does that feel like a step down in your brain?
Pickleball.
Not necessarily that it's just pickleball, but just going and doing something for fun.
Honestly,
or like I can go play pickleball.
Because I don't know if there's any pickleball like competition. I mean, yeah, you play to win that game you're in, but it's not like, oh, you're gonna go play in the national pickleball tournament.
They have them.
I guess I wouldn't be playing in it, but I would just be playing for like as a hobby. Maybe I'm thinking about the recognition of winning versus like just winning and you go about your day. So like in a race, there's awards, there's all this stuff. Like you get a medal. But if I go run 5 miles on the beach, no one knows.
Yeah, what's the point in doing it then?
No, none really. So no, I'm just kidding. But no, I guess when I said pickleball, I was thinking that like, I was just thinking that like it would be something I do that no one knows I'm doing, but I'm still active or having fun. But like the recognition of winning in the sport you're playing is where I differentiate like between like running now, I was talking about, and pickleball maybe.
Does the recognition drive you?
Yes and no. Like, yes and no. I think I appreciate it and it feels good, but realistically, not really. The recognition like goes away like the next day. Like we all move on.
It evaporates quick.
Yeah, like we just move on. So I think it doesn't drive me because I know that after that moment is over, we're on to the next thing anyway.
Yeah. Is that what your brain has conditioned you to tell? Or do you actually feel like if you just right now at this moment dropped every competition version of racing, of running, would you just go run 5 miles on the beach and have nobody know?
I do enjoy running where like I like how I feel. I feel stronger. I feel happier. I would still do it. Yeah. With running, there's the community aspect of it too. So with the races, it's not even so much about the time all the time because I'll go run a race or cheer at races just for the communal aspect of it. Recognition aside, like I would still do it with the races for that part because it's a fun time. Like the whole weekend, there's events. So I do like that. And then if there was none of that and I just ran on by myself, no one saw, I still would do it because I just feel better about myself after I go for a run.
If I say something to the extent of external validation, what does that mean to you? How do you feel like that applies to your life?
I'm trying to think of, I want to say like, because I don't value that as much. I guess when I think of it is like, am I doing something for other people to see it or to praise me or applaud me for it? And I don't care that much because I really don't even know how to receive like praise from people. Like it feels weird to me. Like someone say a good job or whatever, I probably feel uncomfortable. So I don't even know how to receive recognition sometimes. So I don't think external validation is like that important for me or is not that big a deal to me.
Do you realize that a lot of the ways that you kind of logically process what sports you're going to continue in or like what ones you place value on or continue to kind of like pursue, if you know that you're not going to get to the highest top level of it, then you like don't put as much time or training into how you were talking about like with the basketball, you were like, well, all these other guys I was playing with, like they were going to go to the NBA.
Yeah. And
so you're like, well, I wasn't going to care too much about it because then I knew that would just make me mad.
Well, so you're saying like it's still tied to like external. I think it's more, it's not that it's, maybe it's the validation part that is throwing me for a loop because like, I guess in the comparison of others, you have to have a measuring stick to see like where you stand. And so that one's, I gotta think about that a little bit more.
Here's what I will toss out there.
Yeah.
I know, obviously, we're just meeting each other and having this great chat about life. I never saw myself when I was an athlete. Still am an athlete. But when I thought that way, I never saw it as a performance or as something that I was doing to get acknowledgement for. But through kind of reflecting on it, I was always trained. I was a role player on the team. I had a lot of success, like, I did, but I was taught to be very humble about it. And I was taught to, you're a part of the team, you're doing the thing. So I also don't necessarily accept praise and things like that because that was always kind of trained into me.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, but it was the team, which valid. valid.
Yeah.
Nobody wants somebody who's like just totally cocky about everything. I've realized that demeanor also has been fully driven by external validation. And why would I do anything if it wasn't for the betterment of my team, or if I wasn't going to be able to be good at it, then I don't do it.
Yeah.
I only played sports that I was kind of naturally good at and then just leaned into more. I'm very bad at just doing something for the sake of being active and trying to learn a new sport and all of that, because why would I care about how well I do if I know I'm not going to be very good at it? And so then I kind of self-limit before I even start. And I'm just tossing this out as seeing and feeling a lot of similarities. And we know cognitively, and you even said, you're like, no, I would still run if nobody knew that I did the run, or if I wasn't going to try to improve my time. You would still run because it does feel good and you enjoy it.
Yeah. Because as you were saying that, I was thinking about, I had tried to get into golf in college, but I didn't have any goals of like competing or being better than anyone. That was purely for like learning and trying to get better for myself, like just so I could play.
Yeah.
But I don't think there's anything wrong with being at like just a competent level and like to do the sport, like.
I get you. I get you.
So that's why I was like, you don't have to be the best, or I just want to be good enough to not be embarrassing. I think the sport or anything you do is only enjoyable if you can get through it. Golf, for example, if I'm hitting the balls left and right and not even getting to the hole at some point, I'm just not even having fun. So like, but I'm not looking for any validation necessarily. It's just like, I just want to be able to complete the task of the sport. I'm not necessarily doing it to be good enough for the validation. It's just like being good enough is just enough to make it enjoyable because you can actually do the thing. I'm just okay with being good enough, like a minimum, some sort of minimum threshold to be skill wise.
You want to look like you're able to do the task.
But it doesn't have to be you
don't have to be you don't have to be the best at it.
Yeah.
You don't have to be the best one on the field or the court or whatever. But you need to be able to do the thing.
Yeah.
You don't want to be the person that's showing up and's like, this guy's never done it before. Let's teach him the rules.
Yeah, but not be for them. It's just more of like, if I couldn't do it, I wouldn't have fun because I'm not even doing it. Like I'm just in the way. So with golf, for example, if no one's out there and I'm still not getting the ball to the hole, I wouldn't have fun.
But at the beginning, when you're learning golf and you're getting better at it. So how are you supposed to expect that you can just do it and not hit the ball all over the place?
No, you have to practice and, get better.
Yeah.
But I'm not comparing it to how other people are doing either.
Well, how do you know if you're good or not?
If the ball goes straight, or if it go it's just it's just like, all right, here's the rules of the sport. Can you do that? Yes or no? And we have limits on how many times you can hit the ball to get there. So if I'm hitting it left and right, I'm not going to be outside those limits. So that's how I would determine.
How many attempts do you give yourself before you determine if you're in or out of the limits?
Oh, that's a good one. Okay. I will say, for me, I give it 2 or 3. I would say 3.
You're going to be good at golf after just practicing 2 or 3?
Decent enough.
Okay, sorry. You're going to be decent enough at golf after 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, I think highly of myself, I guess, in that capacity. No, but I only said 3 because
I don't make that face in a bad way.
I think I'm athletic enough to get certain things that quickly. Because after a while, it's just remembering the tactics. I just want to be good enough. I just have to take it slow enough. I learned it in those first 3 sessions or whatever, but now going forward, take it slow enough to remember the good habits and not move too quick and do the bad habits.
Yeah. If you can just make yourself good enough at it, then it'll still be enjoyable for you to do. Mm-hmm. Do you feel like you developed that over time as kind of like a coping mechanism?
Yeah. Once you graduate college, it was just just be good enough to continue to do it and enjoy it enough for yourself. But yes, I guess it kind of is.
Yeah. I'm not saying it as a bad way, as a bad thing. We have to create coping mechanisms for a lot of different things, right? I think a lot of times that gets a negative, connotation to it.
Yeah.
Right? Because when we're young and growing up, what does the phrase, good enough is enemy of your best, make your brain think?
I get it, but thing
is, but that's what was pounded into our heads.
I get it, yeah.
Right, that's what was driven into us as athletes growing up. Good enough is enemy of your best. This drive for perfect practice makes perfect. It's just this like drive for do it well, and you need to be striving to be your absolute best. And now for us in our 30s generally, sometimes we have to find that coping mechanism that's like, okay, how do I keep myself engaged with this, but find an enjoyable level to where this, I think, is where your like running talk earlier was like, well, yeah, I want to be trying to improve. And it's okay to want to try to get a PR on your next race while also being chill and just doing it because you enjoy it. Yeah. And it feels like you're kind of working on the drive and the balance between those two, which I think a lot of people understand and will relate to.
Well, now as an adult too, and being a founder of a run club, I'm going to encounter people that are at different levels. I don't want to be so overly competitive to like the everyday runner who just wants to finish. It's like, oh, I can't relate because I'm not trying to run a sub 3 hour marathon. I just want to finish. I also want to translate to them like, okay, well, if that's your goal, like that's fine too. And as long as you're enjoying the run, that's all that matters. Because at the end of the day, you finished it. That's an accomplishment. So
absolutely,
if you enjoyed it, then revel in that enjoyment. Like that's what we're here for. Because it doesn't matter like the difference of time. You get the same medal as me. You can celebrate with like we all doing the same thing. So and if I run faster and I'm upset that I didn't get a time, who had a better race? The person who enjoyed it and smiled all the way through. That's why it's a balance to me, because it's like I don't think we're any different no matter the time. It's how you perceive it.
And I love that. And I think that's why you've probably gone into the community running space, right? So talk a little bit about that. Like, when did you start Sunday Run Day LA? Kind of where did that come from for you?
Yeah. So I started January 2023 and now I'm probably going to be smiling the whole time, but it's so weird because I didn't know what it would be or what it could be. And I think it's still so much that it could grow to be. But I started running in 2019. I'd say that was my first marathon. And I started to run within the running community in LA, Koreatown Run Club. And I was running with them so much, eventually they asked me to be the track captain for one of their runs. So I was doing that. A lot of run clubs run at night. And for me, I'm not a night owl. So I go to the run and I go straight home. And then also the run clubs meet 3 to 4 times, 5 times a week. And so I'm seeing these people more than anyone else, and I didn't really know them that well. I just knew about their runnings or whatever. From going to being the track captain, and I think I told you earlier, I would invite people and they were intimidated by the track and thinking they need to be fast. I wanted to create something that was welcoming for any level. And also I wanted to create like the social aspect of it, to people that hang out afterwards and talk to each other and get to know each other. My idea initially was to do just a run fitness sort of like event style thing where you would come do a run and then have brunch and hang out afterwards. Hopefully it would grow to like more wellness and fitness activities like yoga, HIIT workout classes or whatever. But since I ran, I was like, I'll start with running. That was the idea. So we did our first run. We had brunch and everything. It was fun. But then everyone was like, well, when are we running again? And I didn't know, like, it was kind of tough because...
You're like, I was just going to see how this person went, living in the moment. You like to live in the moment.
Yeah. And well, sorry, just to backtrack. I only did it, I just posted on Instagram and said, here's what I'm going to do.
Yeah. How many people showed up?
Like 35.
No kidding. Let's go.
Yeah. And like, but I also pay for brunch too. And so that was the other like hesitation. I was like, I can't pay for brunch every week. Like,
you were like, if we do this again.
Yeah. So I had to figure that out. But so then I was like, well, people were like, we just want to run again. So I was like, all right, we'll just meet next week and run. And then eventually I saw a coffee shop in downtown that wasn't that busy on Sunday. So I met with them and asked, could we meet there? And so then we started meeting there every week. The first few in between that first brunch and meeting at the coffee shop weren't as social because we would do the run, but we were just meeting like on the street corner. So people would kind of disperse. But the coffee shop brought back the social aspect where you hang out afterwards. We would get people who were avid runners and they were using this as a recovery run, but then we also get new runners who were just getting into running. And so then people started signing up for races and we would go out and cheer and support them. Yeah. We did the Speed Project, which is a race from LA to Vegas, a relay race from LA to Vegas. And I think that's where we kind of like, I don't want to say establish ourselves as a run club, but that's when people started to be like, oh, this is a run club that is like running races and stuff.
This on Sunday.
Yeah. As people started to sign up for races, like they were going off doing whatever, they want like the run gear too. So we had to create like merch and all that stuff.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. So it kind of just grew organically because I didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't know what it would be. I'm still kind of figuring out to some extent like what it will be, but I think I want to, support people in their run journey. So like right now we meet once a week, Sunday mornings. Sometimes we'll do impromptu runs, like Saturdays before a marathon. We'll do do a shakeout, we've done a couple like track morning sessions with our speed project team. But I want to start to like support people in their running journey more, and so I'm kind of figuring out like how it will grow from here. I think.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. But again, I think also you being the person, that's founding it, and through all of our conversations and exploration that we've talked about during this, you are trying to then give people space and create this community, and you're just creating space for people to enter running at different levels and feel supported at different levels, which is also how you feel, right? to where it's like, are you getting PRs on your last race? Yeah. Are you a good runner? Yeah. You're serving as that kind of role model in a sense, right? Where some people are going to join and be like, oh yeah, I want to keep working and I want to work up to where Dom is. But you're also feeling like, yeah, but I'm also not making this my whole life and purpose to be training for this. I'm also just doing the enjoyment side. And if I go run 5 miles and nobody knows about it, that's also okay. Yeah. Right? So I think it's beautiful, and I think that's probably why it's growing organically, and you're doing a great job.
Thank you.
Yeah, and you're just you're just being you, and it's like that authenticity level that people can kind of meet you at where you're meeting people at. You know?
And I think that's probably, the authenticity part is a big thing, because like if no one showed up, I would still run. I think that is kind of a difference maker, where it's like I just want to see other people running. I want to see people get healthier and like fit. But I just want to also see them doing it and be happy too. Like it doesn't. We don't have to be so serious with running. It's literally kind of going back to what I said about basketball being a game. Like kids run every day. Like we don't have to be so serious. It's just a. Yes.
Now that we've ventured through all of this, former athlete doesn't exist, right? Like we were talking about even from the beginning. Like the athlete's still in you. It's still influencing all these different things, right? What do you feel like that means to you now?
Well, do you know what is the actual definition, like in the dictionary of athlete? What is it?
I'll look it up. I have looked it up before.
Yeah, because I'm curious.
You're going to like where this is. All right, you ready? A person who is proficient in sports or other forms of physical exercise.
Interesting. Okay. I guess that makes sense. So, maybe I'm thinking athlete versus like an athletic mindset, or an athlete's mindset is probably why I'm like going back and forth with how I was going to answer.
So the Merriam-Webster dictionary version is a person who is trained or skilled in exercises, sports, or games requiring physical strength, agility, or stamina. You're still an athlete.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's like you don't just all of a sudden lose it.
Yeah.
No, you are a basketball player, you are a baseball player. You're not currently playing any of those sports, but you didn't lose the knowledge and the proficiency of being able to know and understand what the sport and the game is.
Everyone in the world would probably be an athlete, because I don't think there's few people who at no point never did anything.
There are some. They do actually exist out there in the world.
but it's a games even. Like, I mean, you can define almost anything as a game. So it's like, I guess it just depends on how you show up and use that skill, if you do anymore. I guess I just think about the mindset that you develop from being an active athlete then. So like that mindset is what I use now. I could stop playing all the sports and games, but the mindset is still there. So that's why I would say like, you're not a former athlete. You're an athlete because you never lose that. Like that is still in you. So it's, I guess you're technically never a former athlete. It's just when do you display the athlete in you, essentially.
Still guiding how you interact with your environment and everything around you. Because you can't just like take that part out. Yeah. I love it. Anything else you want to put out into the world? How are you feeling? I
feel like I'm trying to think of what I want to ramble about. Because when you ask me about running too, I feel like there's so many things about Sunday Run Day I could talk about. Nothing really stands out. I guess when I talk about the speed project, we're doing that again this year, so I'm excited for that, and I'm just excited for like all the things that I'm going to be a part of in running this year. I think there's going to be a lot more stuff going on and I'm not even going to be the focus. Like, I'm excited to just see people do like their first, whatever it is, first marathon, first half marathon. It's not really about us anymore, or it's not, I don't do anything for myself. I mean, like, I'm more so doing things for other people. So I'm excited to see other people do the things they want to do and celebrate those things.
You've created that team. That's awesome. If you enjoyed this episode, please rate and review. You taking that 5 minutes makes a huge difference and helps us to be able to make more episodes like this. And if you want to see more content in between the episodes, follow us at No Former Athlete on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. I'm so glad you're a part of this No Former Athlete community. And if you know any No Former Athletes that you think I should get in touch with, DM me on Instagram at No Former Athlete. Thanks again for listening, and we'll see you in the next episode.